What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a weekend preview of what's on tap for the Three Stones Pit Crew as we head out racing for the weekend. Looking ahead to the weekend, we have on tap the Joe Shear Classic at Madison International Speedway. The two divisions of racing, you'll have your ASA Midwest Tour, joined by your Midwest Truck Series. So we'll kind of give you the details in terms of what to expect, who to keep an eye on, as we look ahead to Sunday afternoon, as we got a Sunday special this weekend. So, starting on the ASA Midwest Tour side of things, who are a few guys you're keeping an eye on as we look ahead to Sunday?
Well, I mean, obviously the big name is Ty Majeski, right? Coming off of the win at Slinger for the season opener. He's always good when it comes to racing Madison. He's won this event in 16 and 23 and in 24. But yeah, Casey Johnson, he's a guy you also got to look out for, winner of this event in 22 and 25. Um, if we're gonna look at non-past winners at this one, Sommers, you put out a stat earlier in the week on our Facebook page, a 4.1 average in the last six races, including two runner-ups. Sorry, three runner-ups in the last six races. So obviously he's going to be very strong. Fenhouse has run here in the past as well and has run well. Morrissey is back in action as well. Again, this is a classic. You can make a pretty solid case for a lot of these guys here today. 24 in total on the entry list.
Yep.
Uh, Nick Paninsky making a surprise entry for the
Yeah.
super late model as well. Doing a lot of dirt racing currently in his shop, out of his shop. But yeah, another stout field. Expect all cars to start this one. So it's going to be a matter of attrition. This race, just Madison as a whole, really brings out the attrition in the field. So it's going to be you gotta be there at the end, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at the event, right? Like we kind of had talked a little bit about last Sunday's event with the Midwest Tour Slinger. Tires kind of very quietly become a conversation. This event, 200 laps, is a six tire show.
Yep.
Um, so that will be something to keep an eye on. Is guys are going to have to manage rubber, to a certain degree, through the course of 200 laps. So they'll have that break at some point to go ahead and make adjustments, and put rubber on. But yeah, so looking at it on the list, you currently have four um four previous winners of this event, and three of those four have won more than one. So pretty cool to see that as well. Nason is also a former winner of this event. Retired. Retired.
Yep.
Didn't take long to run the first two big shows of 2026. So always good to see him. He was fast last year. Remember, he was chasing down Ty Majeski,
Yep.
before they just barely touched and that cut that tire for the 91. So um, Summers has been the 200 lap race in Madison. Summers has been he's been there at the end. Two runner ups to both Johnson and Majeski. The third place was to Majeski and Pollard when the national tour was here. Um, so that will be we got a tough field of cars, right? We
Yeah.
say 24 cars, but when you look at the list, there is a lot of cars in that list that could go ahead and win a race.
If I'm gonna throw like an underdog name, a guy that we shouldn't expect to do well, I'm gonna throw Brett Edmonds into that list. Or sorry,
Yep.
Brent Edmonds. Finished second, I believe, in 2024 in
Yep.
this race.
Second or third.
I'm verifying third. He finished third in this race behind Majeski and Sommers. Um, then had a respectable 10th place finish in last year's event. So again, if you got a name that you're gonna throw an underdog in that category, it's got to be Edmonds.
Yep, for sure. So, a couple other guys to kind of keep an eye on as they kind of work through the day. Luke Fenhouse pretty consistently has put together good race cars for Madison. He'd be one to keep an eye on. And somebody that's kind of On the last trip there a year ago, I think kind of found something a little bit. Justin Mondyke.
Yep.
He's another one that's kind of started to find a little speed at Madison. So those would be kind of two that again, a little bit more maybe fall in your sleeper category, but they'd be guys that have very quietly found a way to find speed.
Yeah. And again, I think it's going to be tied in Majeski show. We talked about it on our podcast on this week's episode. It's the field versus Majeski. Um, but you know, Goliath does go down every once in a while.
Yep, he sure does.
This is
So
also you also gotta keep in mind. This is also in a way a tune up for when the Stars National Tour makes the Wisconsin swing up here. Obviously, we had Slinger a little while ago. We got Madison coming up for as part of that swing as well.
absolutely. So any final thoughts before we jump into the Midwest Truck Series?
No, I think we cut it all. We'll talk about the race procedures or schedule here in a little bit, I think.
Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and jump over to the Midwest Truck Series side of things. So they'll be joining the Midwest Tour as they very traditionally have done. They currently have 34 truckers on the entry list for this one. So again, a really stout truck count for them back to back events to start 2026. So that is cool to see. I know taking some notes and kind of following suit on their social media posts. Uh they have 7 guys on the entry list that have won a race at Madison in the truck series. So when we talk about the field being tight, um, that is quite the grouping of guys. And you have that many different winners in the course of 2 events in a year. So that's really, really interesting to see that happen. So um
And the thing is too is that in its time in the 33 races that they run, courtesy of the Midwest Truck Tour, um, they have had a ton of winners. Um, if I look at just the one-time winners, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we got 15 one-time winners alone, with another 6 multi-time winners. So you're talking what is that? What is that? 20, 21 winners? If I
yeah,
do my math right.
yep, I believe so, yeah.
So I again, this is a track that anybody can win, but with how tight that field is. You gotta qualify strong in order to give you a chance to start up front. Again, give you a chance to yourself to win that race.
Absolutely. So when you look at the field, um, you're gonna have your guys that you can count on pretty consistently to be fast here at Madison. Eugene Gregorich is your defending event winner. Brandon Reichenberger has won the Howie. And then you start to go to your others. You talk about Grant Griesbach is always fast. Blake Brown, winner at the Dells. I would expect him to be very quick.
Yep.
Chester Ace has won 5 races, I believe, at Madison.
Yep.
Um, and then Aaron Moyer is always fast. James Swan has a brand new truck. I would expect that thing to be quick, and he showed at the Dells that that thing was ready to rip. So
Tristan
um,
Swanson too, and
yeah,
that what is that? That 31 Motorsports um
yep,
entry in the 23. Again, another former winner. Got to keep an eye on him.
yeah. I mean, the thing is this event is just going to be for the truck series with the field being so tight. Even the smallest miss is going to feel like a lot.
Yep. And
So
36 laps, it's a fairly long race, but when you get in a groove, those 36 laps can click off pretty quick.
absolutely. So Um, yeah, it'll be exciting to see the truckers back in action on the half mile. So this will be the first big track for them of the year. So it'll be interesting to see kind of who comes out on top when we start looking at the big tracks for 2026 for their season.
Yep.
All right, talking schedules. Schedules and procedures. Talk us through. What do you got?
Yeah, so talking about Sunday purely here, pit gates are going to open at 9 o'clock. We're going to have a driver's meet at 10:45, and then practice is going to start at 11:30 with the truck series, followed by the Midwest Tours final practice. The trucks will get another final practice from there. Qualifying will start at 12:45. Trucks are going to have group qualifying. The Midwest Tour will have single car qualifying, and then racing starts at 2 o'clock, starting with the last chance for the truckers. Don't think we'll have a last chance for the Midwest Tour, but that one's on there just in case. And then followed by the 36 lap truck feature, and then the 200 lap ASA Midwest Tour Joel Shear Classic for the ASA Midwest Tour. Top 16 are locked in time, but again, I would imagine if we stick with this 24, we're just gonna take everybody, invert the probably 7 or 8 plus the roll,
Yep.
line them up, go from there.
Yeah, and that last chance could also turn into a positioning race as well. Can
Yep.
maybe see that being a conversation, right? To see where guys start. Truckers, that will be interesting to see how that plays out. They got 34 of them. We'll kind of have to wait and see what the plan is there in terms of how many are going to take the green for the main event on Sunday. So they did a really good job laying out with the plan at the Dells. They made it so foolproof that when you looked at it, you knew exactly what was going on. So it's always good just to have clarity, right?
Yes, 100%.
Little understanding of what they are getting into. So, looking ahead to Sunday, if you're looking to get there, Madison International Speedway, we say Madison, it's the address, it's technically in Oregon. So that is the location of the race Sunday. If you're looking to watch or do so virtually, you can do that on Track TV as a part of their streaming service. So you can get that. If you're not a subscriber, look at me, new subscriber, you can find a couple driver codes kind of scattered around.
Yeah.
Ryan Farrell's got one. Derek Kraus has got one. There's a handful of other drivers that have them as well. So that'll get you that subscription at 50% of the annual year.
Need to throw out there, and I mentioned this on the podcast, and you need to mention it on here as well. If you buy advance tickets for the Madison race, you get free pit access from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. So basically, just before practice starts, you get free pit access, get to meet and greet all the stars and cars, both the Midwest Tour and the trucks.
Yeah, Madison also put out the new tailgate zone out in the parking lot. Kind of little map they put out today, kind of introduced the new along the wood line. There's going to be the tailgate deal. So if you're looking to be a part of the tailgating crew, go ahead and just grab that map right off of their social medias and website, and you can kind of see where the party's at on Sunday.
Absolutely.
So, well, that's the look in and the details of what to expect on Sunday for the Midwest Tour with the Midwest Truckers at the Joel Shear Classic. If you haven't seen this week's episode, go check it out. Covered Slinger. Kind of talked a little preview to this. But I'm sure we will cover all of this action on next week's episode of the Tuesday Track Talk. But until then, we'll see you next week.